Hi guys, welcome to the Dr. Buff site. Thank you for visiting. I'm hoping you'll spend a few minutes to have a look around. This is just a little intro as to what sort of a detailer I am, what you might be looking for, and how we could possibly assist you with the car if you should have any serious detailing issues, paint correction issues, paint protection issues, or interior, whatever the case may be. To start off with, we usually have three types of people that look at our site. Primarily we have the customers who like to look for information to do with maintaining their own rides, like DIYs more or less. We also have the customer who's looking for a professional detailer. And of course the third one is our competitors. Hello guys, how you going? Love you all. And anyway, what this intro is basically about is to more or less tell you a little bit about our business, what it is we do, what sort of cars we get, and just to sort of try and explain to you that if you're looking for a professional, you really have found them. We're not, dodgy detailers or anything like that, but we'll get a little bit of that a little bit later on. Firstly, I'll try and take it in three types of categories: the DIYs, the customer, and well, the competitors. I don't need to say much about that. We all can be friends, guys. There's no need to not like one another. We're all in the same industry. I love you all. And please, if you're going to look around, enjoy my site, and hopefully you can pick up something from it as well that might help you in your own business. Now, as far as the customers who are looking for information, we have 3 pages: either car washing, car polishing, or car waxing. And I take it if you follow those 3 pages, you should be able to find what you get. They could do a little bit of updating. I haven't really messed around with the site for a few years now, and I may look into it later on in the not too far distant future to possibly have them updated somewhat. But most people that usually get in touch with me as far as detailing their own cars, it's usually with paintwork, and they're usually in some sort of strife, either with webbing or swirling, or they've accidentally damaged their own car in some way, shape or form at home. And but the majority of people that are in that sort of boat, they're usually jobs they can't usually take care of themselves, and I usually have to entertain in the fact that something has to be fixed up because they're usually in some form of serious trouble to try and get their paint restored. You have the ones that have got mild damage, but then again, sure enough, you have the ones that damage their cars to the point where they could very possibly be facing a respray. Now, for the DIY customers, if you're going to be mucking around with your paintwork, don't listen to people who tell you go buy a rotary buff and try and buff it because you're heading for trouble. And take it from me from a professional point of view. A lot of the items that you tend to find sitting on Autobarn or the super cheap shelves, be it primarily Meguiar's or Autogleam, or I don't know very many other brands which are best enough quality to be on the shelves, but try and stick to reputable brands. We in person use Meguiar's, and the product speaks for itself. Now, you may find if you do happen to go on the car polishing page because you're looking for some way to fix your paint, keep the method simple, keep it basic, don't make it technical, and don't follow mumbo-jumbo polishing. Even for the do-it-yourself guys, it's pretty basic as long as you follow it in simple steps. Now, you may find they have on the car polishing page kitten. Now, I don't use kitten. I don't tell anybody to use kitten. Kitten is for those people who've got $2,000–3,000 cars with pretty shabby paint jobs and want to just buy a cheap polish to use on the car to brighten it up. Now, for those sort of cars, I would say gladly, not a problem. Use kitten if you must. If you don't want to spend $20 on a bottle of polish, you want to spend $5 or $6 by all means. But if you've got a half decent paint job and you've got a reasonable late model car that's got a nice paint job on it, don't use kitten. The reason I've posted kitten on there is because I've had a lot of cars come to me personally, either through recommendations or from the web, where people have actually used kitten on their cars and they've done it by hand and they've basically just destroyed their paint job, and it takes a fair bit of work to get the damage out. So I thought I'd post just a quick few paragraphs on the page itself regarding how to use Kitten. So for the guys that are going to use Kitten, you at least use it properly so you don't destroy your paintwork. Now, for the guys who'd like to use Meguiar's, just follow the basic principles of what's applied on the page, how to use it as far as an orbital buff. I don't personally polish anything by hand. I don't believe it in by hand. It's too tiring, it's too tedious, and you can do more damage than good, especially if you're using compounds by hand. And I prefer to just use an orbital buffer, breaks the compound down quicker, finishes up with a nice polish, put your wax on, and you're done. Alright? Just follow the basic principles on the car polishing page, and as soon as you've done that, go straight to the car waxing and follow that to the letter as well, and there's no reason I can see you should have any problems. Kitten, no, not in cars with half decent paint jobs. If you've got an old car which you park at a train station or just don't give a damn about it, you just want to look presentable, if you want to use Kitten, go ahead, but also use it with an orbital, don't use it by hand. Now after you've done that, on the polishing page, go to the waxing page, follow that to the letter, and you should be able to complete the job by yourself. Now, that's for the DIY customers. For the customers who are looking for a detailer to get the work done professionally, I tell you this, I'm not the detailer that charges $50 or $100 to promise you everything inside of 2 hours, because that just is not feasible, it's not possible, and it just doesn't work. Guys who tell you this are lying through their teeth. They will take your money and they will just basically give you crap in return. If anything, they'll more than likely damage your car even more. Now, I know this for sure because I've done enough cars in my time to know that when they turn up at my workshop, they're so scathed and scratched and swirled, it's from $100 detailers or it's from coffee car washes. The majority, I'm sorry to say folks, are from coffee car washes. And if you guys are listening to this video right now who do have nice cars or expensive cars or whatever cars you drive, you put them through coffee car washes, you're doing nothing but paying people to damage your paintwork and possibly the rest of your car. The majority of cars that I fix are usually coffee car wash damaged. They've got severe scratching because they're usually washed carelessly, or either with rags and sponges that have been dropped on the ground and picked up and run all over the car. And you don't see this immediately on the post detail because, not that you understand much about compounds, but a lot of compounds contain what are called filling agents, and when you pick the car up it looks nice and shiny, it looks gleaming, glassy, but it's only because the crap they use on cars scratches paint very badly, and in turn it also fills itself in so you can't see the damage. Now you'll clean all the dullness off your paint, but it'll also put a lot of scratches into your paint. And a lot of the paint protection applications they use is very acidic. I hope because I've prepared enough cars from them. And it tends to sort of like have a porosing effect on your paint after 2 or 3 years. The paint tends to start to lose its shine. It starts to look porous, which is basically it's breaking down your paint. So that's what you're getting by running your car through a car wash. They're not the best thing for your car. You know, they're a fast turnover to like a similar franchise to McDonald's. You know, take cheap money and give you nothing in return, and basically give you damage in return. And a lot of them don't even accept liability or responsibility for damaging your car. And if your car is damaged on the day, that's the first thing that will hit you with is there's our board. We don't take no responsibility. Now, I am the guy that fixes a lot of these cars. I get them all the time. If you look at our details page, which is our new recent page, there's Blue XR6 Ford. There's also HSV Senator. We only just built this page recently. We haven't really focused on it that much. It only went up about 2-3 weeks ago from the date of this video. And we only just started posting cars which have this serious paint corrections procedures on it. Otherwise you can visit all the other pages, which is your Jug Cars page, Euros, and Aussie Cars page, and you can see all the cars that we've done over there as far as paint correction or detail, but the majority are paint correction. Now, if you're looking for somebody to restore paint, you need to understand that restoring cars that have been damaged by coffee car washes doesn't take 2 hours. It takes anywhere between 8 and 14 hours on average. You have cars which can get away with a stage 2, you have cars which can get away with a stage 3, and you have cars which need the far more serious procedures of 4 and 5. Now, if you have to go 3 and up, it's basically that your car's in serious trouble as far as scratches. Could be very deep scratches. Paint measurements have to be taken. Everything has to be assessed correctly before we can actually even put a butt to your car's paint. But the majority of cars are usually fixed up with a stage 2, which the car's normally just needed for a day, sometimes 2 days, depending on, give or take, whether it's got mildly more damage or less damage, but usually a stage 2 is enough to fix it up. But these are paint correction procedures. They're not details, they're not coffee car wash jobs. They're professional and paint correction services. It's what the pros do. It's not $100 details, which, you know, the local dealer sent you his detailer, which, you know, details his cars and gives this shiny car for 2 or 3 days, and after you've washed it, it looks like crap again. I don't do those sort of jobs. If you're looking for a $50 car wash, $45 car wash, you can go to my competitors. I don't do those sort of jobs either. The sort of jobs I do are the jobs that if you're looking for somebody that loves what he does, you want your car taken care of, and you want it taken care of professionally. So when you get your car back, your jaw drops, I'm happy, you're happy, and you've got a glass mirror of a car. That's the sort of detailer I am. That's the sort of jobs I do. If you're looking for a pro, you're talking to him. If you're looking for $50, $100 coffee car washers and detailers, I tell you now that you're going to run into serious trouble, and down the track it is going to cost you a lot more than you think. The best advice I can give you is, if you're currently using car washers, stop, don't use them, and find the time to wash and detail the car yourself. Otherwise, pay a pro to take care of your car, especially if it's a big dollar car.